Hey, what's going on, guys? So, Lords of the Fallen Update 1.102 is here, and this one is all about tightening up co-op and cleaning out some of those frustrating edge case bugs that could really throw off a session. The developers are focusing on making multiplayer feel smoother, more stable, and way less punishing when you and a friend are trying to get through more instead together. Now, one of the biggest fixes in this hotfix is for a weird issue where the guest player's level could reset after backless respec menu during a co-op session. That is the kind of bug that can instantly ruin the mood because nobody wants to spend time building a character only to have the game behave like your progress never happened. Along with that, there's also a fix for the host player automatically searching for a new session after the guest player leaves, which sounds like a small thing at first, but in practice that kind of behavior can make co-op feel messy and unpredictable. There is also a fix for a really nasty teleport problem where both players could get sent back to a previously visited Vestige when the guest player used the rest function. That is exactly the sort of thing that can break the flow of exploration, especially when you're trying to keep momentum, rest up, and keep pushing forward without getting yanked somewhere unexpected. On top of that, the guest player can now use the Warp to Vestige option properly in full privilege, non-shared progression co-op sessions, which is important because that mode is supposed to give players more flexibility, not less. And speaking of co-op privilege settings, another fix addresses a case where the privilege type in non-shared progression sessions could change from full to limited after the guest player joined, which could obviously cause confusion and block certain actions that should have been available. What makes this update stand out is that it is not trying to reinvent the game or add some giant new feature set. Instead, it is going after the stuff that gets in the way of actually playing. The patch notes you shared show that the team is checking the key co-op touchpoints one by one, upgrading equipment like the Sanguinarics, the Umbral Lamp, and weapons, socketing upgrade items, interacting with vendor NPCs, using Chrysalis Rebirth, resting and moving between vestiges, planting vestige seeds, beginning boss battles, and even skipping cutscenes. Those are exactly the moments where a multiplayer session needs to stay reliable, because if co-op is going to feel good, it has to work during the routine stuff, not just the big dramatic encounters. And honestly, that is what this hotfix sounds like in plain terms. A cleanup pass for the parts of co-op that players touch constantly. When you are in a shared session, little things matter a lot. A rest point needs to behave correctly. A warp option needs to send the right player to the right place. A host should not be dragged into a new session search the moment a guest leaves. A respec menu should not accidentally mess with level data. Those are the kinds of bugs that may not sound huge on a patch note page, but in actual gameplay, they can completely derail a run. The fact that these issues are being tackled now is a good sign that the multiplayer side of the game is being watched closely and adjusted based on what players are running into. So if you've been playing co-op and you notice odd behavior with progression, resting, warping, or session handling, this update is aimed right at those pain points. It is the kind of hotfix that does not need a giant flashy headline to matter, because the real win is that it should make the whole experience feel less fragile. And for a game like Lords of the Fallen, where timing, positioning, and coordination are already doing a lot of the heavy lifting, that extra stability can make a huge difference. In light, we walk, and this time hopefully we walk a lot more.